Yorktown. This is the bigger ship that you saw from outside that was across from the Lafferty, and this is its chapel. This one ship actually has 5 different tours on it, and then it has all the airplanes and helicopters, and then it has the missiles. It's actually going to be a pretty big tour, so I'm only going to film a little bit of each section. But I thought that would be cool to let you know that I'm on the USS Yorktown. I was just on the USS Lafferty. So this is pretty crazy. This is where they actually made torpedoes. So imagine that they're out here fighting a war, shooting torpedoes at people, and making torpedoes in the middle of the bottom of the ship. That's craziness. I had a friend who once asked me why I'm sort of obsessed with the military ships and airplanes and stuff. It's because of the stuff they did in such tight quarters. Like, look at this. This is the bunkhouse. This is where these men that fought these wars slept every day. This one side had 9 men. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the other side, I don't know if, I am zoomed all the way out, had 9 men. So, what? 32 men just in here. And here they had a game board. It looks like badminton, checkers, and cards. Probably could play chess and dominoes on that too. All these people in this one room, 32 men slept. I don't know how they didn't want to kill each other. Now this says tour continues down here, but I actually saw a bathroom up here that showed their restroom, so I want to go back and see that. Found it. Here's the washroom. So this little sink, counter, and mirror. There you go. Hi, everybody. I don't know where the toilets and the urinals are, but is this not insane? I don't know what I've done. I think I've gone sort of backwards in craziness. Berthing compartment. I think it was in there that they had to sleep. And there's a picture of them hanging out. Or actually, I guess it was right there because that looks like the thing that connected the bunks. It's amazing the sheer size of the place, but also how small it was considering how many people were on it. This is where they ate every day. And what it was is they did everything in shifts. So while one shift was sleeping, 2 shifts were working. And while one shift was eating, 1 shift was sleeping and working, etc. Like moved on like that. This is the dishwasher. And this ship was actually one that had visitors. It had visiting performers, it had visiting higher rank officers, it had visiting politicians. It's pretty cool. Here are models of the ship. Middle of where all the kitchen stuff is where the dentist office is. Pretty crazy. It's like they just kind of said, oh, there's a gap in the space. Let's put something there. This is the ship's bakery. It actually had a bakery. That's pretty cool because I thought all military people just ate those MRE packages, and that on big ships like this, it was just like giant MRE packages that they mixed with water and it made food. But no, they actually tried to make food like you would get back home when they had the stuff to do it. Sometimes you ate a lot of potatoes. This is where all the medical supplies were kept. This is the little doorway you tried to keep carry somebody who needed medical treatment down. And this is where they would receive that medical treatment. It's just so amazing to me how small this is. Look, then you go further on, and here is the pharmacy. And they have the medical symbol on the floor so you could find it, because how you find anything on this ship in an emergency, I don't know. It says to go that way, but we're going to go this way first just to see what these 2 rooms are, because it's sort of a dead end. Well, this looks like a doctor's office or a lab. These stores. I don't know. And then there's an x-ray room. Oh, you can see either shrapnel or screws and plates in that person. It's actually kind of blurry, but I bet you that's shrapnel. And the stream down is just fluid. It continues on this way. It's so crazy how small it is. I just can't get over it. Here's a different view of where they would receive treatment. And I don't know what would happen if they had more than one patient at once, because there is a cot over there. And then there's wherever they would receive the treatment over there. But right after I said that, I found the surgical suite. So here's the surgical suite. That guy's having surgery. I really get fascinated by the medical stuff, probably because I'm in the medical field. I guess this is where they keep all the patients. They have just a little bit more room than the people sleeping that are working on the ship. Look at that, sick bay. Sick crewmen would use this space to keep ailments from spreading throughout the ship. Yeah, I bet you things spread fast in this ship because they do sleep so close to each other. Even down here. Ward manager's office. Treatment records. Okay guys, this is super cool. You will not believe where I'm at. I am in Apollo 8. And I actually had to get on my knees to get in here. But I am freaking in Apollo 8. And we're going to push this red button and see what happens. I'll try and...
15, 14, 13, 12,
Look at
11, 10,
Pretty
9. We have ignition sequence start. The engines are on. 4.
You have S4 Peter on the capability, over. Roger, thank you. Houston, what does the old moon look like from 60 miles, over? Okay, Houston, the moon is essentially gray. No color. Looks like plaster of Paris.
So as I walk through the Vietnam Memorial Museum, you hear the music of the time playing, and you hear voices of soldiers, and you see pictures like this where military men are counting their time to when they get back home. And all you think of is when you think your life is tough and you think you've been through some shit, you don't think you haven't been through anything. Nothing like this. These people were fighting for a cause they themselves couldn't even identify. And back home they weren't being appreciated or respected for fighting for the cause of their country ordered them to fight for. That they again couldn't identify. And they went through some shit. Those of us that have just sat at home forever, working, raising families, going through the normal day-to-day stuff of life, but never having to see anything like this. We haven't been through anything, really. And I'm talking about myself too, so if you're listening to this video and you think, what are you talking about? No, of course, in my life there's been times where I'm like, God, this is the hardest thing ever, or oh, I can't believe this is happening to me, or even the why me times. But then you look at stuff like this and you're like, psh, that was nothing. Psh, that happened for a good reason. Psh, well, if I can get through that, I can get through anything. These people, they had some crap going on in their world. This is the flight deck on the USS Yorktown. I didn't realize until I just talked to a guy from the USS Yorktown that this was considered the mothership. All the men that have ever served on this ship considered this ship like their mother. It's a place you went back to be taken care of. It's a place you went back with your troubles. It was just where your life was handled. This is freaking amazing. I'm actually on a flight deck of the USS Yorktown, which is an official military vessel. Look at that. These are where all the airplanes were. They would take off right from here. This is freaking amazing. This ship is just huge. And I took a picture of that bridge earlier, but that's the bridge from the ship. I'm actually going to walk out to that bench and sit down and take a look for a while. But here's another marine vessel over here. And they're constantly, actively maintaining the ship too. Pretty cool about Patriots Point. Out here you can tour that submarine. You can tour this ship, which is the USS Lafferty. And you can tour this ship, which is the USS Yorktown, which also has military aircraft on it, because it was an aircraft carrier. And then on the other side of the bridge, which is on the other side of this boat, you also go tour a Vietnam reenactment thing. So today I've been in lots of submarines in California and then also in Pearl Harbor. So I'm going to skip the submarine for lack of time because I have to catch a boat to Fort Sumter at 1 o'clock and it's 11:45. So I'm going to go do the Vietnam thing. But I just wanted to tell you about this because these are the things that when people think, oh, it's too expensive or oh, whatever to pay this to go see that, this cost me $21 and I got a tour of 3 different military vessels with military vessels on them and a reenactment of Vietnam. The reenactment of Vietnam's over there behind those trees. You can actually sort of hear it and you can see where the flag is. So that's where I'm actually going to head. And then I'm going to get on a boat to Fort Sumter. On that side of the water is the 2 ships, the USS Lafferty and the USS Yorktown and the submarine. And you can see it has all the aircraft on top of the Yorktown. And on this side is the Vietnam experience. All that for $20. It's basically 4 museums for 20 bucks. It's not a bad deal. I'm gonna check this out. They say this is a one-of-a-kind thing. No place else has it. So I'm inside the Vietnam experience and they actually have made it sort of humid in here so you can see what it felt like over there. And there's where the POA and the MIA flag came from. Says you are not forgotten. But we're gonna go in here. So outside it, they have a Vietnam experience that has like the aircraft and set up bunkers. So that's what we're actually gonna go through. That's actually pretty cool that they have the volunteers here. And I guess I forgot to mention that all the volunteers are actual military vets. And in the Vietnam exhibit inside the USS Yorktown, they offered me a Vietnam vet button or a bumper sticker. I didn't feel comfortable taking that because I'm not a Vietnam vet. And I think they should keep that for those people. But then I don't know, because then maybe it's just a treasure you have for your experience. So I guess it's an individual thing. But now we're walking into the Vietnam War. There's a boat. How they do those live experiences, but some of them are too much for me. But that was a live experience from inside a bunker during Vietnam. Here is an ambulance jeep. There's some more military aircraft. It actually is cool. It's kind of hard to explain. It's cool to walk through this because I've never seen anything like this. And in my lifetime, I most likely won't be a part of anything like this. And then you feel what these people felt. And you can't even really say, hey, I feel what they felt, because I don't, because I wasn't fighting for my life, anything. But that was so loud and so crazy in there that it's disturbing. And they heard it every day and every night for years. I don't know where we're going in here, but we're gonna go.
You're entering the Quezon combat base. President Johnson has ordered us to hold Quezon at all costs. We're surrounded by 20,000 DC and FAA regulars. We're being hit by constant artillery and rocket fire.
I'm using the stabilizer again today. I don't actually understand how the stabilizer stabilizes when all I see is the phone shaking around. But it's pretty cool. It does make it easier than just holding the phone in my hand. But I think on these rocky and gravelly roads, it still messes up. They talk about the real sounds when you first come in here. Wow, so they like hear that? So you know what they heard every day, but that's got to be crazy. That's got to start disturbing people. This is how they lived. Just little mosquito nets over a cot.
Well, you can sit around the counter, eating hamburgers and sipping coffee without having to be afraid.
From Vietnam. All right, I'm going to get my ticket for the boat to Fort Sumter and see what else is out there to see. But still, you can hear the helicopters. Like, the noise hasn't stopped since I entered this thing. That's got to be disturbing, because they do say that in Vietnam the noise just never stopped, all day, all night. Let's ride on the back of the boat and take in the quiet beauty of things. Seagulls coming at me. Look how beautiful the sky is and the water. I'm on a super cool boat going to Fort Sumter. The funny thing is, see all those warehouse storage things? I took pictures of those twice thinking they were Fort Sumter. I don't even know where Fort Sumter is. It's at the other end of wherever this boat stops. But I think it's funny that I kept taking pictures of those from way over there, thinking that was Fort Sumter, but it's not. Then you suddenly get a surprise like this. It's a little sand island in the middle of the river with a cross in it. I'm going to zoom in so you can see it better. Look at that. And I'm the only one on this end of the boat. Everybody else is on the other end. That is Fort Sumter.